Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you and welcome
Thank
to
you and
Destination
welcome to
Talk
Destination
once again.
Talk
This
once
is Teresa
again. This is
Graham.
Teresa
Where
Graham.
it sounds
Where it
like we're having a
sounds
little
like we're having
technical
a little
difficulties because we have
difficulties because
feedback
we have feedback
on Eric is
on
in.
Eric is in.
So we're going to try to work that out right quick. And I do apologize. We've been working on it, but can you hear me, Erica?
I can hear you. Let me see if I can try to fix.
I can hear you real good. If it's just that low of a feedback, that's fine.
Let me see if. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can. Let's try to fix it.
The wonders of modern technology, you guys.
All right.
But we gonna make it do what it do, baby. So while we're working on this, if you do see this live and you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. We will read them. If you want to come in, I can send you a link and add you to the show. But we have a young lady with us today, Miss Erica. Erica is who she's known as. And she's not here in TK. She is actually in
Plano, Texas.
Plano, Texas. But are you a native of Texarkana?
I am.
All right. And she has a wonderful story of inspiration to share with us today. And I'm not going to do a lot of talking today. I might interject, just to clarify some points or to, pull out some nuggets and jewels. But what I'm going to do now is turn this over. I'm going to let Erica introduce herself, tell us about her background, and begin in her story. So, ma'am, thank you for trusting us with your story, and I'm putting it over to your hands.
Well, thank you for having me, Miss Teresa. I appreciate the opportunity. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in and get started with my story. I'm gonna start off by saying, a lot of young girls, are lost and they may not have any direction, any guidance, like I didn't have as a young girl. So, you know, I just want to try to shed some light on some situations that may come up and then try to help somebody. Okay. So when I was younger, growing up, of course, I was in an extended family home. My mother and my grandparents raised me in an extended family home. My grandparents were married for 52 years. And, you know, my mother worked all the time. So I didn't like really have a whole lot of guidance from her because of her lifestyle. Growing up, she was working. So at the age of 17, right after I turned 17, I got pregnant, had
Mm.
a baby at 18. So I was pretty young. And not knowing how life was gonna take me, I just kind of, was just out there, just kind of lost, not
Well,
really knowing.
let
Go
me
ahead.
ask a question.
Hmm.
When you say that, uh, I'm listening to you, and when you say that you didn't have a lot of guidance growing up, give us some examples of what you consider as not having a lot of guidance.
What I mean when I say that is like, that one-on-one time you get with somebody to just kind of tell you about life and how
Mm,
it's supposed to go. That
mm,
person that kind of takes you by the hand to kind of lead you around and kind of show you the way about things,
mm.
that may come up in life. Some
Yeah.
people, don't get the opportunity to just get that, So, and I was, I felt like that, especially after I had got pregnant and had the
Had the
baby.
baby. Hmm.
Yeah. So I will say life taught me a lot of things. A lot of people say, life is the best teacher. But, when you're young like that and you just don't have any direction and guidance or somebody that you could just kind of lean on to really get what you need, it's not something you really want to hear at that age. So
So when you had your baby, were
mhm,
you living at home or were you on your own?
I was at home
But
and I
not
ended up I ended up on my own,
not a lot of you know how most moms, when it's the first grandbaby, especially when your sons, their babies that they have are kind of outside the home and you have to pull them in. But when you're the daughter and you're living at home, it's really hands-on, and it becomes almost like that baby is yours and you didn't have that experience.
absolutely preaching to
Okay.
the choir because I get the experience that I have a daughter who has a baby as well. So
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, we think we're grown at that point. So I
Yeah.
ended up leaving home, of course, um, again, with no direction, no guidance. I left home at a young age, so hadn't even really had the chance to experience life for what it was. So I
Mhm.
ended up moving out into my boyfriend's home, and then ended up on my own eventually. And it didn't take long for me to get there. So
Now,
at my own place.
was the
Go ahead.
boyfriend that you moved into his place, was that the babe's dad?
No, and my baby was about a year old at this time,
Did
about
he
one.
did he accept your baby as his own?
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay.
how long did you actually live with him?
That was well. That period did not last very long because it
Mhm.
was very shortly after that. I ended up, like I said, in my own place. I
Mhm.
was on my own, and I had to lean back on my mom
Mhm.
for help because I knew then at that point I had to do something.
Well,
I had to take care of this baby. So,
what? And I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but it's so we could go through the process
all right.
in your mind frame at the time. What gave you the determination living with was he older than you?
No, we were around the same age.
Okay, what
Mhm.
put you in the frame of mind? Okay, I am living with this man. He does
Mhm.
accept my baby, but I need to get my own place. What was the frame of thought that took you there?
Because at that point, I was the only child too. Let me throw that in there. At that point,
Mm,
I knew looking around and paying attention to my environment at that point in my life that that was not what was gonna have to be what I call how life was supposed to be. I knew that that wasn't it, even though I didn't know and didn't have any guidance about what it was supposed to be.
you knew it
I
wasn't
knew
on it.
I knew that that wasn't it. Right.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And you were at what age then? 18, 19?
Yeah, about 19 years old, somewhere in
So
there.
at 19, you still had enough fortitude about yourself to say, uh, yeah, no.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So now I'm on my own, got my own place. I got this young baby, and I got to figure this out. Okay.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a job and, living in the projects. If anybody has ever lived in the projects, if you get a job, they got to know and they want a portion of whatever money you make. They want you to bring a portion of that to pay for, your dwelling. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So mind you, I got to remind you, I don't have any guidance. I didn't know anything about life. So I knew, but I knew I needed to get myself together. I had a baby.
Yes.
So what I did was I worked and I did
Mhm.
not tell them that I was
Mm,
working.
mm,
So I didn't tell them. I was smart enough to, to not do that. So, but I
mhm,
saved my money up, and in about 11 months, I moved out of the projects.
mm.
I knew that that was not what I wanted to do. Okay. So ended up getting another place, where was not dependent on the system to pay any portion of my rent, or any utilities or anything like that. So I worked and paid my bills, and kept going and did that for about, I guess, 3 or 4 years. I moved from that place to another one, just kept going.
So,
I kept striving, kept wanting more.
so we can say between the ages of 17 and 19 to 20, you
21.
19 to 21, you
Hmm.
learned that number one, okay, now I'm responsible for a whole nother human being.
Yes.
Number two, I don't want to depend on a man and just be staying stagnant because of possibly security or having a roof over my head.
Right. Right.
Number two, yes, I got a place in the courts or the projects,
Hmm.
but I don't want to be in a place where I have to report everything that's going on in my life. I
Right.
want to be independent. So
Right.
you calculated this plan. I
Hmm.
can save this money at this
Hmm.
young age. If I work hard and save this money, I can get in my own place. Well,
Absolutely.
I'm independent. I'm not a statistic where
Right.
most young women, once they have the babe and once they end up in the courts,
Hmm.
some get stagnated there and they
And
become
that's
dependent
that's
on the
it.
system. And you
Right.
knew that even at that young age, I don't have the guidance to show me what I need to do. I don't really know what I need to do, but I know this is not it. So I'm just
Right.
keep moving forward, and we're gonna see where it take me. But
Right.
each step is taking me towards independence. Ah, you're a good woman. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So did that for a few years, and then, like I said, I got another place, and kept working. Kept working jobs, Walmart. Little jobs, little odds and end
Mhm.
jobs. Just trying to make ends slap hands because I couldn't make them meet on my own. I was
Mhm.
young and just couldn't really do it. So after I kept, going from job to job, and having to put up, we all have to put up with things on jobs, but it was just like I knew that this is not for me. I got to do something more. I need something better because how
Mhm.
am I going to do this? I got to do something better. So around the age of 25, I
Mhm.
ended up having another baby, had a
Mm.
girl this time.
Okay.
So I was like, this has got to be better. So
Mhm.
at that point, I found out, that you could go and get like Pell grants and things like that for college. Okay,
Yes. Mhm.
somebody now has taken it upon themselves to kind of help me out.
Yes.
So I went and applied for this Pell grant, got it, went in, dove in head first in college, and
Mhm.
started working. Um, or started working on my first degree. Um,
So
yeah, go ahead.
backtrack it just a little bit. We
hmm
have the son, we have the daughter.
hmm
Are the kids' dad active and supportive in your life?
No, the second one was for a little bit, maybe about a few years, for
Mm.
just a little bit, but not 100% like it would be in a traditional family home. No.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And your upbringing, were you raised by mom and dad or mom and
Mom
grandparents?
who worked, and then, like I said, an extended family home. My grandparents were married, so it was structured. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. So you
Um,
did have were able to grow up with knowing that this is what a marriage looks like in family and but still even surrounded by that without the input,
mhm,
it's kind of like I'm out here on my own.
mhm.
Did you go through any before you decided to go to school? What was it that kept pushing you and not allowing you to be stagnant? What was your thought process? What were you thinking?
I knew at that point, I knew I had two children that were looking at me every day and
Okay.
depending on me
Mm,
to make things happen so that they could be okay, because, I had to, I knew if I didn't work, if I didn't do this, they would not eat. So I knew
mm,
it was dependent on me to get it done. I
okay.
had to do it.
Mm.
So, I, and it's a fog now, y'all bear with me. I'm trying to remember,
Take your
because
time. Take your time.
I, at some point, I ended up I told y'all about the projects. I ended up on another housing program system to where they would assist with paying, your rental portion. So
Mhm,
got on that and decided that, I am still not okay with people coming in my house,
mhm.
checking for things and making sure things, it's kind of like an invasion of your privacy at that point
Yes.
when they do that. So I knew I wasn't going to stay there long.
Mhm,
So I decided to, like I said, I was going to school. I was going to go to
mhm,
college because I always heard that you really can't. My mom did tell me because she was a high school graduate, you
mhm,
cannot make it in this world without education. Now I did remember hearing
mhm,
that plan over
mhm.
and over in my head. So worked on the first degree, got the degree in office professions. Okay,
Okay.
two kids. All
Mhm,
right. So with that type of degree, um, it just did not work for me.
mhm.
It didn't work. The jobs that you're able to get with that type of degree are only going to allow you to get it if you um, kind of, you were a certain way and you had to, be a certain way. And, it
Mhm.
just did not work for me.
You didn't fit that mold.
Right.
You didn't fit that mold. Yes.
Right.
Mhm,
So fast forward, my daughter is 4. She's
mhm,
getting ready to start pre-K. Okay. So I was like, I made everything work until that point. When
mhm.
she started school, that's when I really was like, okay, she's in school. Everybody's getting up and going somewhere during the day. Let me do something.
You do something. Yeah.
Okay. So I decided to. figure out, again, I got this person in my ear that was came from a family of educators helping
Mm-hmm.
me. At this point I got guidance, but it's
Mm-hmm.
2 children later. So hey, he told me, hey, you could go over there and get this and do this. And I said, well, you sure? Because I've already gotten 1 degree with the Pell Grant. Didn't know, and the Bible tells us that people perish from the lack of knowledge. So it's a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of things I did not know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got the Pell Grant a second time, and heads down, tails up, I'm in college again. So this time I'm going to pursue my nursing degree. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So did that, got all the prerequisites out of the way. It took a long time to do it because I got 2 children. We all get up and go to school. And then we come home at the end of the day. My children, thank God I did not have to. I was one of those parents that were, I was lucky enough to not have to just kind of like sit down and actually help with
Mm-hmm.
homework. My daughter was an advanced child, so she was kind of, I never had to help her with homework. Now my
Mm-hmm.
son sometimes needed a little help, but I mean, I was able to get through that.
Mm-hmm.
Did that, got up in the mornings, went to college when the kids went to school, got off work, made sure the kids were okay. I got out of school, made sure the kids were okay. Where I lived, I at first got a job working as a manager right after college, right after classes, uh,
Mm-hmm.
at Wendy's on Richmond Road. I think it's Chicken Express or something now. Was
Mm-hmm.
manager there for a while. Um, did that and then left there, started working because I needed to work when the kids were asleep. So I would leave my children at night, go to work 10 to 6 as a night audit at the Comfort Suites.
So
Got
wait
off
a
work.
minute, you would
Go ahead.
like go home, cook dinner, bathe, check homework, yeah, watch a couple of cartoons and put them down for bed.
And go to work.
When you go to work, was anybody there to watch them, or were
No,
girl?
my son, had a good long conversation with him several times to make sure that he
How old is
understood.
he?
Um, Let me see, 28. He was up age legally in Texas, I think, almost at the age around close to 12. Can't
Okay,
remember.
okay, but
So,
still, that's young, and
mhm,
uh, you know, I'm just gonna stop you right there for a moment
mhm,
because I try to tell young people who I deal with, especially even those who don't have kids, you don't have a baby. All you have to worry about is yourself.
mhm,
Take the time, even though you may be working at Tyson's making $16 an hour,
mhm,
pursue your education,
absolutely.
go for your dream, and
Mhm,
you recognize that I need education. And you said the key thing. It took me a little longer
mhm,
than the average person because I had kids,
mhm,
but you didn't give up. Where one person may have finished their prerequisites in the first 2 semesters, it may have taken you 3 or 4.
mhm.
You stuck with it and you did it, and girl, you go head on.
I did. And in that, I was just going. I was like, I hope this pays off. I don't know. And
Yeah,
while I was going, I was still unsure. I got kids. Is this going to work? All kinds of things were going through my mind.
my
The first semester in college, I made the dean's list.
mm,
And at one point, I don't even remember what it was. I have a certificate in there where I made the national dean's list. Just going. Didn't really know. I was just doing it.
just doing.
Just doing it. So it was tough, going to school when the kids go to school in the mornings, getting off, making sure home was good, and then going to work, working nights, and
Yes,
then getting up, and then the next morning after get off at
starting
6,
all
I'd be in
over
class
again.
all over again.
Hmm.
Classes start at 8 a.m. So I mean, I would go from maybe 8 to 11, but when you go for that amount of time in college, outside of that, you have to study twice as long in order
Yes,
to be successful. So
yes, because if you don't,
you're gonna
there's
fail.
no playing catch up in college.
Yes, yes, and I did not have time.
Mm,
Um, when I finished the prerequisites and was actually doing the program, I did not have. I felt like I was being negligent to my children because the nursing school from
very
on Saturdays,
demanding.
you don't have a life. There will be times when my family would call and say, "Hey, we're putting burgers on the grill. Come over here and hang out with us." And I could not do it because Saturday morning when I wake up, it was time to get in that thick nursing foundations book. All you nurses know what that is.
Mm.
From the morning when I open my eyes until I go to sleep, it was study time, and I did not have time to do anything else.
Now, besides, this motivation that I see a dream. I
Hmm.
don't quite know what that dream is, but I'm working towards it. And this one other person that was like encouraging you. Was there anybody else around you encouraging you? Where were you drawing your strength from that
God
kept you
Almighty,
going?
God Almighty, honey. Let me tell you, it was a lot of days driving on my way to school in the mornings that I cried,
Praying and crying.
praying and crying,
Mm.
praying and crying.
Girl,
I did it.
yes.
I did it. And
Mm.
I mean, when I tell you, I can't even count the amount of days I did that. It would be days where I would just be, I remember just being zoned out, looking through the windshield, thinking, I don't know, and doubt set in, when doubt set in, then you have fear
Yes.
to come along with that.
Mm.
People hear people say, I understood the assignment. And I kept thinking, I understand the assignment, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to complete the task.
See,
But
that's a good slogan. It
yeah,
sounds good, but do you
hmm,
really understand the assignment and
yes,
what all it entails? And
right.
see, people they see the end product,
Hmm.
but they don't know the sacrifices,
Hmm.
and you sacrifice time with your family, time with your kids. Like you say, you felt like you were neglecting them.
Yeah,
They're
I
staying
did a lot of
home
days.
alone. Anything could happen. You're
Hmm.
praying, Lord, don't let a fire happen. Don't let nobody break in. Lord, I don't need CPS in my life.
Hmm.
You go into this class and you try to keep up. And Lord, have mercy if you have a hiccup where you're really stuck on something, but
Hmm.
you push it, and folks don't realize the sacrifice. Go ahead on, girl. Mhm.
Yeah, so I did that, like I said, and in school, praying and crying on the way to school.
Yes.
Nursing school was tough. I now I'm still sometimes amazed. I'm like, I really did that. It would be days where, and in there, you go Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then you have a test every Thursday
Mhm.
over something different. So it was tough. It was a tough task, but I was
Mhm.
determined to get through it. I was not going to give up.
Yes.
Um, Let me just add this. I hadn't planned to tell this, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell it while you have me on.
Tell it all.
Um, so I had the Pell Grant, of course, working on 2 degrees. If anybody ever had a Pell, you can burn all your hours out. So when I got to the end of the prerequisites, I had already used up 129 college hours. They
Mhm.
were not
Mhm.
giving me any more money. It was
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. So
So
that only covers a certain amount.
that's it. Yeah, it only covers once you burn all of your college credit hours, you
Mhm.
don't get any more. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do to finish paying for school. So of course I had to try to figure out something.
Mhm.
Because of my academic where I was academically as far as keeping my GPA where it was supposed to be. I was able to tap into other grants. I'm saying this
Mhm.
because I want you young ladies out there to hear it so you can you know, use it to your advantage. Okay.
Mhm.
My GPA was 3.75. Nursing pulled it down because it was tough.
Mhm.
Um, they saw where I was keeping it above 2.0. I got the
Mhm.
FSEOG grant. There's the WIA. You have all these different grants out there, and I didn't know, but they gave me the FSEOG because of my academic, where I was academically. Went into
Mhm.
the to enroll one day, and they said, you have extra money. I was like, I did not know that. I didn't know it for like a couple of semesters. So it gave me
Mhm.
like an extra $1,230 per uh, college year, which was 8 months. 4 months is
Mhm.
a semester in
Mhm.
college. So I had extra money and was able to get uh, with that in the Workforce Investment Act. I was able to get that, but I had to fight for it. Let me just tell you this. I
Mhm.
got approved for that grant 10 days before my college classes were supposed to start for the program. I got a letter in the mail that said they were not going to pay
Mm.
10 days before. So I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. So I sat up all night one night, the night before it was on a weekend. That Monday, my kids were supposed to go to the dentist that Monday morning. I called my mom and asked her to come and take the kids to the dentist because I had business to go take care of. Went to the Texas Workforce Center. And I know if Duran Moser hear this, he'll know. He'll be able to vouch and
I
tell y'all.
remember Duran. Yes.
Yeah. So I went in there, hadn't had any sleep, had been up all night praying and crying. Got in there and I looked them in the face. I was the first one through the door and I told them, I said, listen, I got this letter in the mail. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I may not ever get this chance again in life. I would not allow you to make me lose this opportunity. And they started calling people from the back because I know I was looking crazy. I would have been up all night, and I told them, I said, I'm not going to allow this to slip through my fingers. So they started calling people from the back, trying to calm me down, and I was not having it. I had that whole building stirred up. So I said, this man, his name, he's not working there anymore because I don't know what happened after that. But it was like, well, the president didn't put the money in the state account last night. I said, yes, he did. He signed that bill at 5 o'clock because I was watching the news. I needed my money. So I was determined to get it. So they ended up had me sit down and write down everything I had said about how I had already started my story at the media with the Texarkana Gazette about how, this had happened. And, I was a single mom. And like I told him, I said, I don't know how you think you're going to look in the public eye if this happens and I don't get to go to school and finish this off. So after that happened that day, like within the next, before I left her, I had the money, so I said that to say this to the young girls, don't give up. When something happens, if it's an obstacle that comes up, don't let that deter you from the path that you're on. Don't let anything get in the way. I don't care what it is.
No, fight for what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Fight for it. And just because somebody says no, still fight.
Right.
Because you can overturn that no.
Right.
Girl, you go ahead.
Duran told me, he said, we need more people like you. And I said, I'm not giving up because I might not ever get this chance again.
Yes.
So they gave me
much into this.
Right. So I got that money that day and then got a phone call the next from somebody. I think it was some kind of church program or something. They paid for all of my scrubs, my shoes for nursing school, my books, my supplies, gas to get back and forth to school and everything. So I was able to get more than enough money that I needed. Okay. So got through school and up until the day I graduated nursing school, I still was just, going and in a daze with the kids, still in school, still, trying to take care of home. So, of course, toward the end, I did have to put money toward, helping with little things, but it wasn't like I had to do it all.
Oh, yes.
Nursing school is expensive. So, but I did that, worked a few jobs after I graduated, and then eventually moved on to where I am now, director of nursing at my job. Thank God for Jesus. Y'all, I'm telling you, do not ever give up on your dreams.
Never.
My kids are grown and they're doing their own things now, and I was able to push through life. So, coming from being a young girl, no guidance, I just want to say, it was good. God gets the glory. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't know.
You just was moving forward. Like I say, faith, belief, forward motion, just constantly in motion, moving forward. I don't know what the end is going to be, but I know it's right there within reach. And I'm not going to give up on it. And you didn't let a man deter you. You didn't let no deter you. You didn't let kids deter you. You didn't let hard times deter you. You didn't let sleep deprivation deter you. You didn't let hanging out with family and friends deter you. You stuck with your grind. This is what I want to do. And I want to show my kids that anything worth having, you got to work for it. If I can do it as your mom, I expect the same out of you. Oh my goodness. That is inspiring. How did you end up in Plano?
I ended up moving here, a few years ago. I had got into a situation with this guy, and I ended up moving here. And that didn't work out, and that's another thing, just because something didn't work, and I like the area, so that didn't work out. So, but I decided to go ahead and stay. So I'm here. I love it here. Got here. I think the first job that I got working as a nurse, I think it was like at $17.50 or $18 an hour. You can literally come here, and it's so big, so much competition, and even double, triple, or quadruple that amount of money. So,
well, what made you choose Plano?
I had an offer for here a job as a mental health nurse for Collin County. So my
Mhm.
background in nursing is I have two specialties. One is psychiatry, which is mental health, and the other one is nephrology. Because I did work for DaVita Dialysis in Texas County for a couple of years before I left. So
Mhm.
I like mental health. I like
Mhm.
working with people that encounter issues. I can always kind of share something with them to kind of help get them on the right path when they're doing good
Mhm.
or when they're doing bad. It doesn't matter. So I did that when I first moved here for the first couple of years, and then got into other areas in nursing. I love what I do. Absolutely love
Mhm.
it. Love it.
I always say to people who want to pursue a nursing degree,
Hmm.
don't just pursue nursing, but find out what you love and
Hmm.
specialize in that,
Yeah.
because that's where the money is
Yep.
when you're specifically working in a certain area and
Hmm.
you're trained in special. Oh, that is so
Hmm.
inspiring.
Yep.
That is so inspiring. And
Hmm.
you know, I just don't even know what to say. You know, right now people, they give up so easily
Yeah.
and they settle so quickly just for enough.
Hmm.
But you have to keep the mindset that no matter what state you find yourself in, yes, you accept it, but it should never be enough. Always aspire for more. You know people, we all know people who they grew up in the same neighborhood, lived on the same block, never ventured but across maybe the Texas side to the grocery store and back. But that's all they know is
Hmm.
that you have to think beyond your current circumstances and beyond a man and beyond security.
Hmm.
Uh, Getting what you want, a lot of times people don't realize when you're pursuing what you want, it's very unstable
Hmm.
and nothing is sure.
Hmm.
And it's a constant struggle. But you have told us with your story how you push through each thing. Now, if there's any one thing that you would want to tell a young lady, 15, 16, 17, who's just had a baby and may feel like her life is over, what would that be? First, I want you to address the young ladies that may be in that position. Then I want you to address the parents of that young lady.
I would say to them, just because you have a baby doesn't mean that that's the end of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Let that be the very thing that propels you to do what you need to do in order to be successful in life. Um, you can't give up. I won't say don't give up. At that point, when you have a baby, you cannot give up. And
Hmm.
if I did it, I had to. Okay. Um, Motivate yourself by, you know, just getting started. Motivate yourself by looking at those children every day. They got to eat.
Hmm.
So just do it, even when it feels like you're stagnant. Because I felt like that when I was actually just taking the classes, working toward my nursing degree.
Hmm.
Don't give up.
Hmm.
Can't give up. Keep going. Keep your eye on the destination and don't focus so much on the journey. Okay,
Yes.
because it's gonna get rough. When obstacles come up, things come up, handle it, because that's what life is. And you and I talked the last week about that. If life did not throw some of the things that we deal with on a daily basis at us, we would just be existing.
Yes.
Okay, we wouldn't. It wouldn't even be considered life. It would be just, everybody would be just here, just existing. So things are gonna come up, and pray, trust God. Don't give in to you know, the no's or the what ifs, or things that when they come up, don't just let that be the thing that deters you off your path. You got to keep going. You have to
Hmm.
pray every day, be sincere, try to be obedient, and let God know that you're giving him When I say this, I mean it from the bottom of my stomach. Your
Yes.
whole mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Doesn't just want your spirit side. Be for real and just
Yes.
let him know what you want and don't give up on yourself. Invest in yourself. Don't give up. Things are doable in life. We just have to be. I was determined,
Just
so
have to be
you have to be
determined
determined
and
to
work
get it.
at it. Yes.
To the parents, offer your children guidance if it's a positive thing that you can deposit into their child's life, regardless of where they are in life, whether they have children or not. Always instilling them good, positive things because they'll never forget it. You know, try to offer, if you can't offer guidance, at least try to connect them with good, positive counsels and role models and things like that to try to, help get and keep them on the right path. Our children are what's, the future is. They're what's going to be when we're gone. So we want to make sure that everything is, you know, um, has a good foundation and our children are, the best right now thing going to deposit positive, nuggets in their lives every day. So I would say just, you know, do what you can to continue,
Yeah.
keeping them on the right path.
And even more so after they've had a child, they need you even more so to deposit something positive in their life. Baby, your life is not over.
Right.
It's the beginning.
Right.
Now, for those who would look at you and say, yeah, but that was her, and it wasn't as hard as she say, well, she was smart. I want you to tell me one of your lowest points and be honest about it and how you pulled out.
At one point, I don't even remember what happened to cause the situation. I don't even remember what happened. But my back was against the wall. I remember that. My kids hated Saturdays growing up because I would get up and I didn't preach to them, but I would always talk to them. They knew they had to get up deep clean every Saturday, but I remember, I don't remember what, like I said, what caused it, but I remember one point where I didn't have anything. Like everything was due. Things were about to be shut off. Rent was due. There was no food in it. I remember being, at a point to where I really don't even, like I said, I didn't even know where the next meal was coming from. That happened at one point. And I'm the type of person, parent to where even if I didn't have what I wanted to eat, my kids were going to eat. It didn't matter if I didn't have. So, for about, I can't even remember because it's kind of like a blur. But for several days, I got up every morning and prayed, fasted and prayed every day. I mean, called out to God to come out and to come and help me. And at the end of that situation, I was able to look back and say, I knew it was him.
Nobody but him.
I knew it. I knew it. And but it didn't, even that did not steer me away from what I knew I was trying to do. And it didn't turn me against God. It didn't turn me against, because that situation happened, didn't turn me against him. I still held on because I had to, for the kids. Yeah.
And I think that is something that is relatable with a lot of young people and women. Is that man will let you down, but God will never leave you or forsake you. And I don't hear you saying, well, I was sitting in the church every Wednesday and every Sunday, but I hear you saying, I had a relationship with my Father, and I prayed to my Father, and God heard me. In the midst of our, look, at that moment, everything due. No money. Not, I got $1,000 worth of bills and only $400, but I got $1,000 worth of bills and $0 and nothing in the house to eat. And at a moment like that, you would think my life is coming to an end, but you pass through and look at you now.
Thank God for Jesus.
See, you know, your story
Mhm.
does not always have to be, I was molested, I was raped, I was a drug addict, I was this or that. Your story is just making it through and being determined and not wanting to settle for the status quo and wanting to having somewhere in all of that growing up without structure, it puts structure in you.
Right.
What you lacked is what you grew into.
Hmm.
God is so good.
He's
And
amazing.
I want to thank you for trusting me to bring your story on my platform. This is going to Facebook, it's going to YouTube. A lot of people, they don't want to hear stories where it's not dirt, but these are the stories that we need to hear because so many people now are, especially the young people,
Hmm.
they've just given up. It's bad when a young person to tell you, I'm just like that. You haven't even grown up enough to know you just like that. And their minds are instant gratification. But anything worth having, you have to work for it.
Gotta work for it.
I thank you for trusting me with your story. I thank you for sharing your story with us. This is going to the YouTube platform, also the Facebook platform. If somebody uh, wants to get in contact with you because they have a daughter who may be struggling and
Mhm.
needs encouraging, they may just want some guidance. They may even want to be a well wisher and say, congratulations. I just want to tell you I'm proud of you.
Mhm.
How could they reach you?
They can reach me on Facebook. I am on Facebook. My messenger is there, or you know, if they want to reach out to me, I'm happy to share my phone number, whatever you need. If there's somebody that's out there, that needs guidance, I'm here. Even if it's somebody that is not in a position like that and want to get with me to learn how to better themselves, however you want to do it,
Mhm.
I'm happy to help you with school, nursing school, whatever I can do. Just reach out and like I said, in my messenger inbox, and I'm available. I'm here to help.
Great, great, great. Because
Volunteer.
I do believe that when you aspire to be something, you don't want to hang. I told my granny girl yesterday, day before yesterday, as a matter of fact,
Hmm.
if you want to be a nurse, you don't want to surround yourself with the CNAs. You're already a CNA.
Hmm.
You want to surround yourself with those people that you aspire to be like,
Right.
because they're the ones that can give you the tips, that can tell you how to get through the struggles, how to get
Hmm.
through the humps. So anything you want to be, find those type of mentors to inspire you and to
Right.
feed into you. If I
Right.
want to be a doctor, being a CNA and hanging out with CNAs is not going to help me become a doctor. Not that it's
Right.
anything wrong with
Hmm.
being a CNA. They're
Hmm.
they're needed, they're great. So don't take it like that, y'all. Not that anything is wrong with that, but what you want to be, that is who you should surround yourself with.
Right.
And thank you for opening up yourself and offering. So you guys take advantage of it.
Hmm.
If you have a daughter that may need encouragement, if you're trying to go to nursing school and you want some tips, whatever it is that is in that realm, give Erica, hit her up on Facebook. Like she said, she'll be glad to share a number with you, and you'll be with somebody that can encourage you and make that connection. If you have a story that you want to share with us, please hit me on my messenger, or you can call me at 870-330-2092. I'll be glad to have you on. This end of the year, we're closing out, so we won't be scheduling. I think we may have one more schedule, but after that, we won't be doing any more inspirational stories until after the first of the year. So if you want to be a part of that, please come on, get in touch with me. And if I see you doing something special, don't be surprised if I tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, come be a part of this. We want to thank you all for joining us on this evening. Once again, thank you for joining us at Destination Mountaintop. As always, faith, belief, forward motion. Remember who you are and whose you are. And Erica, I thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a beautiful holiday, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.